And whatever I see is smiling at me. Love is who I am. Hello there, everyone. Welcome to this video with me today with the question, are you your beloved? I'm actually recording this video on the day of my birthday. Yeah, can you imagine? It's my birthday today. Woohoo! I'm recording this on the day of my solar return because the question that arose as I went to meditate and do a spirit writing for myself was what I can actually offer to all of you, meaning to all of us. As you know, we always, as humans, perceive birthdays as to be our own personal days, a day just for us, our solar return, all focus on me, all eyes on me, all attention at me, instant messaging, birthday things, messages, all of that. In truth, as I've shared before, each birthday is an intense gateway as initiation for you, as the initiate of light, of truth, of love, to go deeper into who you truly are. And the more deeper we go into who we truly are, the more deeper we go into who we are as a whole. You already know that. Because as a true seeker of consciousness, not just as being conscious, but as consciousness that is here to birth love, is that there is no ultimate that can ultimately reveal itself to us without us surrendering this personal will, personal strive for all these goals, all the attainments we have. You know, at a certain point, we have to remember what it is as the desire of the whole. So for me, of course, as always, because I function as, always in the consciousness of the whole, the question was not what I can get this year. The question was different. So as I sat into here in my bed, in my comfortable space, so this is where I'm recording, so it's really raw as it came to me, as it came through me at this time, was that the message started flowing through was not even just for me. And it was like this level up, knowing that there is this surrendering happening, this surrendering to what is my path, what are my desires, what are my goals. You know, I never really functioned that way. But the message I received today, and I will share it with you right now, in this moment, went so much deeper into the fabric of divine love and why we're truly here, and how on each initiation we have, when we go deeper into the self, we can also move deeper into who we are and why we are here as a whole. I've talked many times about this and the topics of divine love and surrendering, this path of devotion. And it's interesting because I have chosen two words to represent today's message, and I got the word play. Okay. And first I doubted it a bit. I said, why play? And you will see in the automatic writing I will just share with you in this moment, it's all about remembering that we're here to play. We are all parts of the one that are dancing this infinite dance of life force in constant devotion. Okay, that's the second word from my beloved oracle. So the thing is, as humans, I contemplate on this a lot. Why are we programmed to be a way that, something is just for us? This is just my life. This is just my reality. This is my space. Leave me alone. Okay, these are my dreams. Okay, so when our dreams might be fulfilled, we're happy, and we're happy to share them with others, right? We're so raw in the way we share because things are feeling good and they're in alignment with who we are. Then something happens and we don't feel that good and we don't want to share that aspect of us. It's almost like it's a little embarrassing, okay? Almost like that part of us feels like, I didn't really complete my aspect to the wholeness, so there must be something wrong with me, okay? So there must be something that I'm not doing right. So then you see others thriving and you go, why are others having their dreams fulfilled but not me? Obviously, I'm doing something wrong. And then the answer to all this confusion, which actually comes from a lack of divine knowing and remembrance who we are as beings of this beautiful, immense divine love. And I'm sorry, I'm probably going to cry during this video because I'm very just in release mode. It's my birthday. It is such a deeply inward emotional time. But it's not like what I'm experiencing myself. It's what I'm tuning into as the whole. And I'm seeing still so much confusion and suffering and people really not even knowing who they are, even when they're doing maybe great works or they're famous or they're celebrities or whatever. It all looks good on the outside. But still, there's so much confusion about why we're actually here, who we are as love. We're talking about love, right? And still there's a facet of this spiritual community that's always telling you you're not doing something wrong, right? You're always doing something wrong in terms of you're not manifesting properly, okay? You're not thinking as expansively. There's obviously something blocking you. Everything is prone to move us into that reality instead of that simple truth, which is whether you are aligned with the self, and when you are truly aligned with the self, you also align with the whole, because that's who you are as the self. You are a part of this infinite fabric of life, which is the intricate dance of all, the whole. It's all of source. And for you to have your unique reality built through love, which means that every desire that ever is fulfilled for you is fulfilled for the whole. So it's not just for you. Your dreams are not just for you. And you will see what Spirit shared in the message is that our reality has been so misconstrued in the way that we think we're meant to reach these goals and then we can ascend. Okay, it's like it's a linear step-by-step program, you know, like AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. It's like you do a certain program, you get these checks or something, and then you're done. It's not like that. As I've shared before, this journey is a spiral, and sometimes we go a little back, sometimes we go a little forward, and it's like a little mixture of everything we're doing and how we're feeling. But whatever we're truly striving for has to come as a dream of that collective that's born through us through love, because otherwise it's just like an aimless goal that you're trying to reach, but you don't even know why. The love behind you still knows. The aspect that is known to us as divine love, divine mother, Holy Spirit, whatever you call it, it's many, many names. You know, I have my preferences, you might have yours, it doesn't matter. But it's that fabric of love giving, of life giving, that is behind everything and all things, that all is animated with that life force, always knows, even when it's our human aspect that might not know. But it gets a lot less complicated for us when we do remember, when we do know. So I hope that this message will help all of you to shift into this non-comparing mode of, you know, we always go like, why does this person look like this? They must do something right, you know, and I must do something wrong. You know, before I start with the reading of the message, I want to share my own experience as well. As you can see, I have a haircut. It's brand new. It's kind of short. And I have to share a deeper story behind this, okay? Because I've shared with you, I had real difficult experience, which was quite painful for me. Because when I was young, they even teased me. I had so much hair, okay? I had so much hair. They compared me with this cartoon character that went like this with her hair, and she was all puffy, and it was funny. And they all made fun of me, and I was the ugly duckling, okay, in the class. And I was always misunderstood. I was always the outsider. I was always a quiet introvert, deep, and people didn't get me. They thought I was weird, okay? It's how I was, volunteer soul, okay? On planet Earth, just like dropped here, a little eggshell. It's like, okay, what do I do now, okay? And back then I didn't know, but if I knew back then, you know, how that is important, you know, for me, then I would probably look at it different. And it's funny, if someone told that counterpart of mine so many years ago when I was still a child, like, oh, you're not going to have as much hair, you know, one day. I was like, no, what? No, that's not possible, okay? So with this new body, this new template that my body is now creating, and it's happening around 2 years now, and these are deep changes that don't happen like overnight or just in a course of 1 year. Spirit is showing me that this is like a deep process, okay? So during this process, I had like constant hair loss. And you know, when you ask someone, they're all playing, they're specialists, right? They're obviously you're doing something wrong because you look unhealthy, okay? It's not always like that. When you go through deep integration work with the soul has to rewire you from scratch. You're going to get a new template. And this is where the painful things come from. And we're not always going to get it. And that's why Spirit has told me, don't try to even understand the process, because you won't. You just have to go with it and you have to trust. And it's been a part of my life where I actually feared cutting those hair off, although they were very, you know, they fell out so much. There was just like a little few left of the long hairs. And I always thought it's a part of my image to look a certain way. Okay, this is what Aurea looks like. So one day I had this falling out, and I knew I can't hold on to this energy anymore. I was trying to hold it, like I was trying to control it to not come to a certain point. And what happened was I said to my mother, I said, can you just please cut like here in the front, right, my hair, because they were uneven, just like these little parts. And what she did was like, she cut like this, okay? She cut like straight. And I was like, no, don't do, why did you do? You ruined my life. That was the first response, okay? And then I meditated on it. And then we went into this channel transmission. As always, we live consciously, as you know. in this illumined way. And then all of a sudden the message was like, it happened for a reason again. So many of the emotions that it was still keeping in myself, like bubbling up, like not wanting to talk about these things, because there will be people that come behind me, after me, that will have this experience, and maybe someone needs to talk about these body changes. They're not just like people talk about ascension symptoms. This is not an ascension symptom. This is building the illumined template. It's not even a symptom. It's a part of that change, because you're basically building a whole new body matrix, or creatrix does it through you. And it's intense. And even Spirit channeled it through us. It says it's going to be a painful process, but there is no way of controlling it. You have to release the emotions. You have to do the work. I said, that's it. I'm just going to a hairdresser. I'm going to cut it all off. It just, I can't do that. I can't, because the hair were getting weird and it didn't felt authentic to my being. It felt like you're just distracting me. They were in the way. And it felt so much a part of the old, which was so beautifully in line with my birthday. And then after that, I have to share this with you as well. I watched this movie, and it was from Netflix, and I'm really excited because Netflix now has so many of these teen romance, teen comedy, kind of like slash coming of age movies. They're actually very educational for young people who, as a part of this Hollywood movement, can become so entrenched, especially now with this looks and popularity and cliques or cliches and all that, okay? And there's a lot of young people, when I'm tuning into my heart, they're suffering. They're suffering because of these false ideals and everything that the media and magazines have created. And it's so hard at that age. And I know I was a part of that age. And me as a volunteer soul, it was difficult. I always looked different than others. I didn't have the silky hair that girls my age did. I was like this weird bushman woman. And it was funny. Now I'd do anything to have that hair back. But again, I can't call back time, because that was a different body. It wasn't even me. It was like, those Russian dolls that are like one inside the other. I have a set at home. Maybe I'm going to use it once for my spirit messages, for that. Put a little oracle message inside. I had this idea once. But anyway, what I wanted to share here is that there's just so much of the suffering. And when I watched this movie yesterday, I cried all the time. I just so felt with this pain, because it was so well performed in terms of how young people who don't fit that ideal can feel. And where do they fit in? And how do they fit in? Why is it always like in American culture, right? The popular kids, these kids that kind of like were in the background, or the nerds, or things like that. It's just, now I feel these movies are trying to break through these stereotypes, and they're sharing young people messages, how love, when you find it within yourself, and how you're different, your intellect, the way you think, the way you're playful, the way you are free-spirited, all that is within you, that's your true beauty. And we're making beauty into something so temporary, and it's not substantial, and it's difficult, and when I had the hair thing, a part of me felt that pain, which is a pain of that wounded inner child that says, oh, I won't look good when I have short hair. I won't be seen as this. That's no longer my image. My image is like, long hair. Even the avatar I created has these long hair. But a part of me so wanted this. And I had two dreams that kept recurring. And in one dream, I remembered I cut my hair similar like this, maybe even shorter like that. Okay. Look at me now. And it felt good. And then in the other dream, I had like super long hair. And the thing is, these are steps. And we have to follow what feels right in the moment. But as humans, we get so much into this, oh, my desire needs to be fulfilled this way or that way. And I'm fitting in this mold. Or, now in the new age, a goddess is seeing this woman who's like, curves, like proper curves, right? And she has this huge curly hair, and she's like the embodiment of Gaia. And it's all in the images. It's not just the media, it's also the oracle cards. Okay, we see, I have thousands, so I know, and it's beautiful art. However, we have to see that we're now humans. Our human bodies are not always perfect. They have things we call, there's little things that stand out from what is supposed to be the ideal. I have a damaged eye, like my left eye is a little weird. And I don't like to wear glasses because it just kind of hurts my head. I have a very sensitive head. I only wear them when I do computer work and things like that, or I'm driving. And so the thing is, I like them. I like to, even the way how I see myself, how I look in the glasses, but my head is so sensitive, so I usually can't wear them. And the thing is, like, we have this idea like a goddess is supposed to look this way and dress this way, and then you're a goddess. And then when we did those messages, Spirit said that's not a goddess. They said that's a false matrix imprint that's been laid for a reason in the human templating that was basically, it's like a hijacked, okay? They're trying to portray people this idea of what you're supposed to look like when you can reach this entitlement of the so-called goddess. You know, it's the same probably for men. They have to look like this and muscular and, you know, like wavy, long, thick hair and all of that. It's very similar. And there might be some people who look like that, but they don't necessarily hold that within, that true love, that remembrance of what love is. What love is your inner spark, your beauty, your devotion to life, to serving others through love. And that concept, this false ideology, is playing with our minds. And, you know, mind, when it's not transcended into the lumen mind template, it's going to continue to play tricks with us. It's going to make us feel certain things. It will affect our emotions, because it's the mind that sets up these triggers and the emotional reactions as these responses are then created. So we forgot to see everything, as this message says here, is this play, okay? It is, our journey here on earth is a mixture of both play and devotion. Devotion might sometimes feel like serious, okay, ooh, I'm devoting to this. This must be serious, okay? This must be very something meaningful. And yet it's playful as well. So can you see those energies being one? Can you see them like being one essence, and see that when you're playful with life in terms of love, loving everything and everyone, then devotion becomes natural to you. And devotion is anything you share. Even when I share right now my hair story and how it liberated me when I went back from the hairdresser, something I so tried to control was like, oh, and I didn't even want to go, because I didn't want anyone to look at my scalp, because I have a few holes here in the back still. The hair didn't fully regrow back. And I had this shame, like, oh, what are they going to think? Something's wrong with me, or I'm unhealthy, because that's not even true. I'm like radiantly healthy. This is just a part of my body building new cells, and everything is restructuring for, like I said, for a few years now. And it's a work in progress. It's not like we want to see everything is complete now. And this is what gives us those setbacks, and we can live our true freedom. So then when I went home afterwards, I felt so good, and I said, wait a minute, I actually like this, because it feels like, oh, it's energetic, okay? It's an energetic thing. It's not even that physical, but it felt like I'm trying to prevent this from happening, but it's happening. If something's meant to fall out, it's gonna, even if you're just pulling it out by like a whole bunch. And it doesn't mean necessarily something's wrong with you. And the hair here, I'm using my example, is just one example. There's many things now people are going through, and they're thinking it's because they're doing something wrong, and then they're watching these videos and something that might feel aligned in the moment, but it's not necessarily coming from a truth of love. Love as this infinite journey, which we don't always have a reasoning explanation to, but it's there and it's happening. We're each at our own stage and level of what we're going through in this transformation into the new human, into the human that's a rainbow human. And it's inevitable. If you did the work, if you did the templating work, it's inevitable. And people who are not experiencing those changes yet, okay, they might look beautiful and perfect on the outside, but maybe that's still built on the old template. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying there's levels into how deep our soul is willing to go in this life, because it's not this ascension, physical ascension is not, okay, you leave your body, you do all this in spirit. No, we're doing this transformation and transfiguration and transmutation in basically the sequence is different. The transfiguration comes last, but we're doing this in our vessels. So when I felt this pain, like I felt how young people must feel. They feel almost like threatened, you know, like every day is like a battlefield. You go into school, you go into, I don't know, fields of work. You're constantly battling. You're battling with yourself, with other people. You're comparing how they look, how they are, you know, they're perceived, and how you perceive yourself. And it's basically all a mirror. And I'm talking about true source mirror versus that which is a false projection mirror, which is this mirage, which isn't even true. Okay, you go somewhere and you see someone and they look a certain way, and that's false because it's on the outside. Our true mirror, the mirror of source, must always come from the inside, and it's what you feel at the essence, at the core level. So I wanted to bring through this message. Well, basically, I was, you know, after last night when I had this initiation and watched this movie, I really felt called to sit down and write this message, which I will now read to all of you. And I hope it will bring you a sparkle of magic, as it did to me, because I had like tears in my whole being. Tears of remembrance, not tears of sadness, you know, tears of joy of what is yet to come when we release those things that maybe we're still holding on to. And I hope this message serves your journey in some way as well. So 3 first questions came before the text came. And these are Are you your own beloved? Do you live as the beloved? Is everyone else your beloved? So imagine you're watching a movie and you see a movie star or celebrity and they look super gorgeous, whatever you say, yourself to be, they are to you. And you're watching them and something goes off like a sparkle. And you can feel that. And this is why people are so sometimes even obsessed with other people, like celebrities and people in the spotlight. And they feel this magic because that person maybe has in a moment captured that so beautifully in a movie, or they just embody certain charisma. But then, when you do that, can you feel that sparkle within yourself? Can you feel that you and that being are one? Can you see that their beauty is no less or more than your beauty? And this is when we usually go off the track, when we say, oh, but that person is gorgeous. They're so, I'm just like this mundane being. And we don't recognize the value in all. The other approach is, when people go like, celebrities, they're shallow. They're like, people do like that. That's one example. I don't know why I'm using this for some reason, because it's like a huge difference between what we perceive as our own reality as, people living our random daily lives and people who are on the spotlight. But it's basically one. It's the same. It's just their job. It's what they've, from the level of what they're chosen. But we have these false imprints and beliefs that tell us this is a separate path. Okay, one example would be this. Even with someone, maybe you're watching in media and you're seeing pictures or photos from them, even people who look at my pictures. That's one aspect. That's the physical aspect. There's very few people who actually connect to me at the essence level. And these people go deeper and they feel what I'm all about. They don't just look at the picture and say, wow, that's good. That looks good. Thumbs up. Okay, so when I read this message to you now, just tune into the essence level, okay? This is what Spirit is asking us. Feel the calling. Feel what Spirit is really trying to convey to all of us here. Because it's time now for those of us who hold this higher consciousness and who are here to embody this template to go much deeper. And then to show the way to those who are still walking that path. To remember that we are all one beloved. And there is no difference. And that everyone is beautiful in their own way. And basically, we can live that beauty. Maybe someone's more beautiful okay, again, it's a human thing. We say that one is more beautiful, that one is less beautiful. That's like physical, okay? But each person, beauty is very subjective, you know that. Each person has beauty. It's all about what the soul has chosen. Maybe the soul said, in this life, I want to be very physically attractive or appealing, so that's my aspect of beauty, attractiveness. And they're playing that out because in their dance of life, they said, I want to experience this. It's all about their own experience. But they also exist within the whole. And when you see that, when you live within the whole, you will say, well, wow, that person has chosen to play out that aspect of attractiveness. Look how well they're playing it. Look how gorgeous they look. Wow, they're doing it so fine, so well. You see, that's what unity would say. Ego says, that person is super hot. Look at me. I'm nothing. Or a person would say, oh, they're so beautiful. They must be shallow. Why do we do that? Okay. Again, beautiful and attractive, different components. Beauty is general. Beauty is all encompassing. Beauty is not only a term that you can relate to physical appearance. Beauty is an aspect of the soul. Beauty shines through your eyes. Beauty is, what's the word? Infathomable. It's like I can't think of the word. I don't know. Maybe it comes later. But it's non-defined. It's like really something so abstract. But it's the essence, okay? So think of the things that being played out as aspects of that beauty on the earth plane, because there's always a little part of the division, okay? A part of the segmenting of that, which is a part of the unity. When we play it out, we do our individual roles, but we're still part of the whole. And can you view reality this way? Can you be happy when people look attractive? Can you be happy for them that they're playing their part right? Because that's what their soul has chosen. They've created that kind of body. Can you play your part the way you want to well? Because the moment you start to compare yourself with another, or, you say, oh, that person has long curly hair. I have no short hair. Oh, I'm nothing in comparison with, I'm just filtering them through the hair or something, or the eyes or whatever, okay, physical body. And I'm not seeing that this is just simply what they're choosing. They're playing it out as the part of the whole, as that collective dream is wanting to come out and be shared. Can I do my part well? This is the first question. Are you your own beloved? The second question is, do you live as the beloved? So can you physically embody that? Are you rejoicing every day in your life, how you live? Are you happy about yourself? Okay. Finding things that are aspects of you instead of comparing. And the third question is everyone else your beloved? Which is, okay, you might know and learn how to love yourself, but you might still have aspects when you can see others as aspects of that. And sometimes for people, it's easy to love celebrities who look so beautiful because they represent to them that ideal. And sometimes they don't want to love that which feels like what we call ugly or less attractive. And I'm not talking about physical appearance here. I'm talking about the world controller team, right? We say, ugh, they're ugly in the way they're playing things out. Well, they also have sparkles of beauty. They're just playing their own experience out for a reason that maybe it's unknown to you. But when you remember as a part of the whole, this is what Spirit is asking us in this message, you will get much deeper and closer to the real meaning and richness of life as divine love, as that ultimate. Divine love is the ultimate glue. It is seeing everyone as your beloved because we all are the beloveds. Okay, enough talking. I'm going to start crying again. I'm so emotional. Anyway, thank you for being here and tuning into the message, because the more of you that tunes into this message, the bigger field of that collective, that love, that deep love for life and all of us. You know, when I see someone beautiful on the outside, I reverence that beauty. I say, wow, that beauty is beautiful. But I don't see it like is the ultimate or is the only thing that's important. I simply acknowledge it. I acknowledge it instead of giving it an overemphasized meaning. So can you learn to acknowledge things? And say, yes, that is beautiful. Oh, but yes, that is also beautiful. Oh, yeah, but that is beautiful. Oh, because everything is. Ultimately, you will come into that realization and the way you live that. Okay, enough talking, okay? I said it 3 times already. Let us read the message. So, dear beloved, there is no absolute way of knowing where this journey of life is taking us. There is no way to describe the ultimate turn of events or predict the future. Sometimes things may seem to be turning in our favor, and other times it feels like nothing is going our way, and that our desires are not being met or fulfilled. That is always the case within duality consciousness, for it is always the constant struggle or battle of wills, of goals, and personal desires that leads the way. That causes and comes from a space of feeling ourselves and our desires as in separate from the rest, while thinking in terms of they have this and I do not. In truth, no one ever has anything. It is only the infinite dance of life that all the sparkles of the one are dancing to, each in their own rhythm and form, and yet the dance is a collective one, for each individualized aspect first emanates from the great oneness of life, which is a perfectly complete whole. Therefore, when we remember the communal dance, and when we can see and feel the spiral of life force and the web of life interconnecting all, we will know the dance of all desires held by all divine beloveds as one. And so we will know that as each sparkle is dancing the dance of completion within their own desires, all rejoice together as one. Only as humans we forget that. The soul does not, however, and that means the great one soul as the Paramatman of the head desires, which is always held together by the greatness and beauty of divine love. There is absolutely nothing wrong with personal desires, as long as they are coming from a place of love. However, one can easily become so distracted, even sometimes, overwhelmed and infatuated or obsessed with them, so that they forget the dreams of the whole and why they're truly here as a part of that whole. Every desire fulfilled, from the most minute to the greatest one, or the grandest one, is deeply important, but not for personal and private reasons. Therefore, it is not about what or who fulfills that desire, but that the desire itself is being fulfilled within the whole. And that is why there is no reason to compare ourselves to anyone else, not from a point of separation at least. Perhaps rather seeing greatness in everyone who is fulfilling an aspect of Source in their own beautiful way. When we can live in that state of unity, everyone becomes our beloved. For we have embraced ourselves as that ultimate beloved. Therefore, everyone is our extension, and the greatest desire of divine love fulfilled can only come from the whole. to the sum of all its parts that make up that whole. The only way to break free from the grasp of duality is to liberate ourselves from all false perceptions such as competition, greed, comparison, jealousy, envy, and so forth. The way to step into the organic alignment with unity consciousness is to remember our natural state of love and that we are truly in this all together. For we are of the whole. Therefore, every counterpart as their own beautiful spark expression is here on this quest to find, or rather to rediscover, the love that's within them already. Bring it to the surface and work with it in every creative way possible. That is what keeps the great dream of the great creator, creatress alive within each of those sparks, wherever they are and whatever they seem to be doing. In truth, each dance has greatness within it. Only the human mind places tags and labels as individual values, instead of recognizing the value and greatness in everything and everyone. In truth, there is nothing but greatness, for the source is all grand. And those precious sparks that have remembered that greatness by becoming their ultimate beloved are embodying it here and now. That doesn't make them greater or better, more special in a certain way, more beautiful even. No, none of that is really true. They have simply remembered, and hence they are being and living the dream as fully awake and alive. They're using their own greatness as the gift of the One to inspire greatness and illumination in others. They have sacrificed lesser ideas and even ideals for greater dreams, collective dreams and desires, those of all and for all. They live in a mindful and conscious dream where everyone is an important key player as the dancer of life. How can they not be if all are fully divine? It is time to open your eyes and see. It is time to bless everyone with your love-filled presence and the awe and magic in your eyes. It is time to remember how to be happy for others in no less of a way than being happy for yourself or those you love and your reality. For is it not your own reality that is only a dream within the dream? Is it not your own reality a crucial key that can unlock other doors because they're truly all connected? Isn't it about time to live that truth and fully embody the love divine, which is your natural birthright as divine heritage? And as you thrive in this knowing, so shall everyone else. And when others thrive and are happy, so shall you be. Oh, the great ones are those who live this way and whose only true devotion is divine love and selfless service to the whole. It is from the whole that to all as whole, all returns. And so it always shall be. With great love, Holy Spirit. I hope you have enjoyed this message. Now I'm out and about. I will create a beautiful day for myself on this soul return. It's just a day like any other, and yet it's also special and unique. And that's the beauty, that's the magic of synthesizing that. It's all a play, and yet it's all devotion, and they're one. This is the message that Spirit brought forth. This is my gift to you on my birthday. Thank you for all, for being here, for being a place, in the place of love, in the space of love. And I'll share more about this. I'll go deeper into topics of illumination and how is it truly to live in unity consciousness in the next updates after a short birthday retreat for a while. And I'll see you soon. Take care with such great love and devotion in my heart, and letting all go that is not truly born of that love.